dear students, in the last video we had learned how Mahatma Gandhi thought that it was really important for the peasants to be free from fear. Going to the law courts and fighting for the rights was not the right thing for them, but the first step that should be taken to help these poor laborers would be to make them free from the fear of the British landlords. Now we'll continue with the problem which was there in Champaran district. Most of the cultivable land in Champaran was divided into large states, and all these big pieces of land were owned by the British landlords. The Indian laborers or the tenants, they worked on it. The chief commercial crop that was grown in Champaran was indigo. We know that indigo was used as a dye. So this is a cash crop, a commercial crop, which is grown to earn a lot of profit. So indigo was grown and the landlords it was compulsory for all the tenants to plant 15% of the land with indigo. And the entire cultivation of indigo, the entire harvest was to be given to the British landlords as rent. So this was confirmed by a long-term contract. Now the change in situation was that the landlords got to know that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. So because synthetic indigo was supposed to be quite cheaper, so this natural indigo, the long process of obtaining it, of course, was of no use because they would not get enough money now from it as synthetic indigo had been developed. So the landlords did not want indigo anymore, so they obtained agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from this 15% arrangement. Here you can observe in this picture how the indigo farmers, they were working hard on their lands, and the second is a pie diagram which shows that how the farmers were compelled to cultivate 15% of the land with indigo, and the entire harvest or the entire crop, it went to the British landlords as rent. The sharecropping system or the 15% agreement was annoying, was irksome to all the Indian peasants, and many of them wanted to be released from that agreement, and so they signed willingly. Those who did not want to sign, they engaged lawyers, and the British landlords, they hired thugs to get them signed. So meanwhile, the information of the synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants. They got to know that the synthetic indigo has been developed, and so they wanted their money back. So now we know that it was compulsory for the Indian peasants to cultivate 15% of their land with indigo. But now what was the change in situation? That Germany had developed synthetic indigo, and they knew that the price of this indigo crop will come down, will crash down because of the synthetic indigo. Now the Indian peasants were ignorant about it. They did not know about this change. So the Britishers, they took advantage of the situation and they asked for compensation. They asked the Indians to pay money if they want to be released from the long-term agreement of indigo cultivation. Many sharecroppers easily gave the money because they did not want to grow indigo. Some landlords, they hired thugs to get the unwilling sharecroppers sign the agreement. Now, later on, the peasants also came to know about that synthetic indigo has been developed, and so these Britishers are taking advantage of us. They are taking money from us when they actually do not need the crop itself. So the peasants wanted their money back. So it was in this time when the entire confusion in Champaran was going on that Gandhiji arrived in Champaran. As he was a lawyer, he first began by trying to get all the facts, and so he tried to first get the information from the Britishers too. What was the problem? And so he visited the British Landlord Association. The secretary over them told him that he will not give any information because Gandhiji is an outsider. To which Gandhiji replied that he was not an outsider. Next, Gandhiji went on to the British official commissioner of Tirhut division. Tirhut division is the division in which Champaran district was there. So the commissioner, he proceeded to bully Gandhiji and he advised Gandhiji to leave the place and go. But Gandhiji, he was there to work, so he did not leave this place and he again proceeded to Motihari, which was the capital of Champaran. Many lawyers also went with Gandhiji. Many people were there at the railway station to greet Gandhiji. Gandhiji, he went to a house and he used this house as his headquarters and he continued his investigation. So during that time, a report came to Gandhiji that a peasant had been maltreated in the nearby village. So he wanted to get more information about it. So Gandhiji decided to go and see. And next morning, he started to go in the nearby village on the back of an elephant. And as he was going, he had not proceeded far when from behind the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and he ordered him that he should return to the town. In this map, you can observe the Tirhut division. A star mark is there and all these districts inside the Tirhut division. So the messenger who took Gandhiji from Motihari, he drove him home and he gave him an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. Gandhiji signed a receipt of the notice that he has received the notice and he also wrote on the notice that he would disobey the order. In a consequence of disobeying the order, Gandhiji received a summon to appear in the court next day. So all night Gandhiji remained awake. He knew that people will not come to know about his cause, people will not come to know about his movement if he is arrested. So he telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. And he also set instructions to the ashram if in case he was to be arrested. He wrote all the instructions to the ashram and the entire list of proceedings that happened when he was in Motihari, he wrote it also for the information of the viceroy. So when Gandhiji decided that he would disobey the order, he got summoned to appear in the court and he wrote to Rajendra Prasad to come with influential friends so that he could fight against the Britishers, and he also sent the entire instructions to ashram and the report of all the proceedings to the viceroy. So Gandhiji was told to appear in the court the next day. In the morning, the Motihari town was black with peasants. So many peasants, they gathered to support Gandhiji. They did not know what Gandhiji did in South Africa. They had only heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help these people, these poor peasants, was in trouble with the Britishers. And these poor peasants, they demonstrated in thousands around the courthouse. So Gandhiji thinks that this was the beginning of their liberation, freedom from the fear of British. These people had been scared of the Britishers because Britishers have always been behaving as superpowers, as lords, and now the poor peasants had learned to demonstrate against them. The poor British officers, they felt powerless without Gandhiji's cooperation because they had not expected that such a crowd would gather. And Gandhiji helped them to regulate the crowd. He was very polite and very friendly. And he was giving them a concrete proof that their might, their power, hitherto dreaded. Hitherto dreaded means which people are scared, which is unquestioned. The power of Britishers, people are very scared of it. No one has questioned the Britishers till now, but still their power could be challenged by the Indians. And this was the concrete proof which was given by Mahatma Gandhi. The government was really confused. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. The actually the authorities, they wished to consult their superiors because they had never expected that such a thing would happen, that so many people would gather around the courthouse and would influence them, and so they wanted to talk to their superiors. Gandhiji protested the delay and he also read a statement pleading guilty. He told the court that he was involved in a conflict of duties. He did not want to set an example as a lawbreaker, and he also had to render humanitarian and national service for which he had come. So you can see over here, he read a statement pleading guilty and he told the court that he was involved in a conflict of duties. He did not want to set a bad example by breaking the law, by breaking the British law. And on the other hand, he also wanted to do some national service or some humanity for the poor people of Champaran, for which he had come. He disregarded the order to leave, which was given by the Britishers, not because he did not respect the lawful authority, but he wanted to obey the higher law of being, that is the voice of the conscience, and that is why he did not obey the order. On the other hand, he also asked his penalty. The magistrate announced that he would pronounce sentence after a 2-hour recess, and he asked Gandhiji to furnish bail to get the proceedings of the bail in those 120 minutes. But Gandhiji refused to give any bail, and the judge released him without any bail. When the court reconvened again after 2 hours, then the judge said that he will not give judgment for several days. And for those many days, till the judgment comes, Gandhiji was allowed to remain free. Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazrul Haq, and many other lawyers had come from Bihar. They discussed with Gandhiji that what they would do if Gandhiji went to prison. Gandhiji asked why. The senior lawyer, they replied that all of them had come to advise Gandhiji, to help Gandhiji. So if he went to jail, there would be nobody to advise, and all the lawyers would go to their homes. Then Gandhiji demanded, what about the injustice to sharecroppers? Who will fight for the sharecroppers? And to answer this, all the lawyers, they withdrew to discuss, to consult among themselves. Rajendra Prasad had recorded this entire discussion. Now the lawyers, they thought amongst themselves that Gandhiji, he was a stranger, but still he was prepared to go to prison for the poor peasants of Bihar. On the other hand, these prominent lawyers, they claim to serve the peasants. They were very helpful for the peasants. Peasants came to them if they had any problem. So it will be really very shameful if all these people from the land of Bihar itself, they would simply desert Gandhiji and they would go away. It would be very shameful. So all the prominent lawyers of Bihar, they went to Gandhiji and they told him that if Gandhiji goes to jail, they will also follow him to the jail. To which Gandhiji here tells that the battle of Champaran is won. And finally, why this battle of Champaran is won, he exclaimed, is because now the people of Bihar are ready to fight for their problems. The leaders are there and the poor peasants have also become fearless so that they can fight for their own problems. So he took a piece of paper and he divided the entire group of these leaders into pairs, and they put down the order in which each pair will go to the court and get themselves arrested if Gandhiji was to be arrested. So after that, several days later, Gandhiji received a communication from magistrate and he ordered that this case will be dropped. And this is the first time Gandhiji tells that civil disobedience has become victorious for the first time in modern India, because it was the first time the Britishers had agreed to the demands of the people. Here I'll once again summarize the important questions. The first one, why did Gandhiji say that the Battle of Champaran is won? So Gandhiji was ready to go to jail for the sake of the indigo sharecroppers, and many prominent lawyers also came to help him, to advise him. First, they were not ready to do anything if Gandhiji went to prison. Later, they consulted and they told Gandhiji that they would follow him into the jail. So, the support of the people of Bihar, the support of the lawyers of Bihar made Gandhiji extremely happy, very confident, and that is why he exclaimed that the Battle of Champaran is won. So here I'll discuss how civil disobedience had trump first time in the modern India. So Gandhiji was not given any information when he came to Motihari. The British officials did not give him any information. They regarded him as an outsider. They told him to return back to his place. He was also summoned by the court to return back to his place, to which he refused, and then he was called to the court. He was told to give bail, to which also Gandhiji refused, and then the judge told him that he would give the judgment after several days. And Gandhiji waited that if in case he would be imprisoned, then he arranged many things. He also spoke to the lawyers. The lawyers agreed to go after him to the jail. But now again he received an official letter from the British officers that the case has been dropped. And that is why the civil disobedience movement by the people of Bihar themselves had trumped for the first time in modern India. So the next part of the chapter I'll be discussing in the next video. I hope you have understood. Thank you.